Now we're going to interpret the slope. So what we're going to do is we're going to generally have a story problem of some sort where we're going to be asked to find the slope, and then we're going to talk about what that slope means in the context of the question. So looking at this first one, we'll come back to the interpretation in a moment. Let's look down at this table. We have a table that says the day, the number of day, and the accumulated rainfall on that day. This is essentially an ordered pair of 3, 1. So at day 3, 1 inch of accumulated rainfall. At day 11, 5 inches of accumulated rainfall. To find the slope, I would use the slope formula. Second y minus first y over second x minus first x. 5 minus 1 is 4. 11 minus 3 is 8. That reduces to 1/2. So typically, I would end my answer right there. Now they're asking me to interpret. So notice what I've done is I've interpreted what that change in y meant. And remember that y was accumulated rainfall. So I put inches rainfall. And x I labeled with days. And now I'm going to interpret my slope. And this is typically how we're going to do that. So for every additional x, there would be an additional y. Remember, the x's are on the bottom. So in this case, I would say for every additional 2 days, because that would be the change in x, there is an additional 1 inch of rainfall. So for every additional x, or in this case 2 x's, there is an additional 1 inch of rainfall. That's how we would interpret that slope. For this question, I would like you to find the slope and then interpret what it means in the context of the question. So again, we're dealing with an ordered pair of 7, 500 and 22, 50. And I'm going to find the slope using the slope formula. So I'm going to take my second y minus my first y over my second x minus my first x. And if it makes you feel better to label those with x1, y1, etc., feel free to do that. 50 minus 500 is negative 450. 22 minus 7 is 15. And then I'm going to reduce that. So 15 goes into negative 45, negative 30 times basically. And then 15 reduces to 1. And again, it might be helpful to write that using the labels. So the y value was the balance, and the x value was the day. So now I'm going to interpret the slope. For every additional day, again, that's using the x on the bottom, which is positive. For every additional day, sorry, I wish I had an eraser. For every additional day, the bank balance decreases by $30. So for every additional 1 day, so as this increases, the balance decreases by $30.